I'd like to introduce Mr. Vikas Gupta. He is founder, MD, and CFO at Sampoorn Limited. He is also associated as CEO and CFO at e-Ashwa Automotive, where he is instrumental in steering the company and contributing to electro-mobility towards sustainable development. He is a professional CA, CS, and CMA with around 3 decades of experience. Before setting up e-Ashwa Automotive, Mr. Vikas was instrumental in establishing many startup organizations, and he played a vital role in implementing processes, practices, and policies. Today, we are honored to have Mr. Gupta as a guest speaker, and he will talk on challenges in EV manufacturing and their solutions. So let's welcome Mr. Gupta.
So the topic which I want to talk about is the challenges in the EV industry. So I am into the EV industry for last 6 years, and I played both the roles of an OEM and earlier, and now I'm playing the role of aggregator now. So there are a lot of challenges which I want to state from the practical scenario point of view. I would start with the first challenge, which is the volume. Now, the technology is not that difficult, is not that complex that we can't make these vehicles within India. And the reason for a lot of dependency on the import is primarily the volume. Let us understand what is the role of an OEM, which even in the IC industry, the OEM plays. There are 4 primary roles of an OEM which they play. One is designing the vehicle. Second is the assembling of the vehicle. Third is the service and support. And last but not the least is the availability of spare parts. These 4 roles are the core roles of the OEM, and then thereafter comes the role of the component manufacturers. More than the investment of the OEM, the investment is made by the component manufacturers, and component manufacturers get attracted to invest in the entire manufacturing process only if there is a volume. Because ultimately their product is not gonna be popular. It is just a subcomponent of a popular product. So they do not get attracted just by creating a brand. They get attracted with the kind of volume and the sale that they are able to generate. And hence, in order for anybody to attract towards the manufacturing process, we will have to create the kind of desired volume, so that at least if they are not earning money, they are able to break even in next 2 to 3 years kind of time frame out of their investment. So that's the first point. Now, the second point, which is very important, is that there is no incentive which is given by the government to the EV manufacturers. I'm very candid in speaking this thing. I know there are people from the government side who are representing even in the panelist section, and then there might be somebody in the other side also representing here. But see, all these incentives, may it be FAME incentive or may it be the state government incentives, all those incentives are towards the promotion of the sale of EV vehicle. None of these incentives are for the production of the EV vehicle. So the FAME incentive, if I am an OEM, I will have to first apply for the approval of the FAME, and it requires a lot of cost, time, energy, and resources for me to get that approval. That is one. And once I am able to get the approval in place, which itself is a very difficult process, then thereafter there are a lot of compliances which I am supposed to adhere to. And if I am not able to adhere to those compliances, we have seen the fate of some of the very large OEMs in the EV industry. They are still serving, they are still trying to cope up with the kind of notices that have been served on them by the government agencies. So if I am not getting any incentive for me making an EV vehicle, why would I take an approval for the government incentives just to pass it on to the customer? So government has to think of giving some kind of incentives to the OEM in order to promote the production or the manufacturing of the EV vehicles. That's the second point I wanted to bring up. The third point, which I, being a chartered accountant, I would like to bring to the attention of the audience, which is the inverted tax structure. Now, I give you a typical example. If I am importing an EV vehicle components from outside the country, I end up paying just 5% of the GST. If I source the similar material from India, I end up paying about 23% of the GST. Now, this vast difference of at least 18%, I am saying at least 18% because there are some components, majority of the components which attract about 28% of the GST. Now, government has made the system very transparent. You can apply for the refund because your output duty is 5% and your input duty, the duty which you pay on the buying of the component, is in the range of about 23 to 24%. So government allow refund to be claimed from the government, and I must acknowledge that the process has become very easier and simpler, and in about 3 to 4 months kind of time frame you get the refund. But then the question comes, why would I block 18% of my money in order just to provide the benefit of local manufacturing to the consumer, who has no appreciation to whether the product is made in India or is imported from outside the India. So that's the third point which I wanted to bring as a problem or the challenges in the EV manufacturing. Now, the other point is the intense competition. There is so much of the competition. If you want to count the players in the IC two-wheeler category, you can barely count Hero, Honda, TVS, and then there is Bajaj, which is only in the motorcycle, not in the scooters. LML has stopped down their operation, so there is no other player. So there are just 3 players who are playing the major role out of the total volume of about 16-17 lakh vehicles per month. Now, in the opposed to it, there are 1,000 plus OEMs which are working in the EV segment. I'm talking about just two-wheeler segment. There are 350 plus players in the three-wheeler segment, and there are about 50 plus players in the four-wheeler segment. So there is so much of the competition that you can't afford to be a little more costlier product bringing to the market, because customer has no appreciation towards even 1,000 rupees excess cost to be paid for some kind of indigenous product. So if my competitor is importing from, say, outside the country and selling it at a lower cost than me, then I have two choices: one, to remain competitive and import, or to go out of the competition. So that's the fourth challenge I wanted to bring to the attention of the group. Now, the other point which is there is not very complex technology. Now, this at the entry level is a boon, because a player like me or small players can enter into this particular segment. But then, because there is so much of the simple technology, not very complex technology, so more and more players keeps coming into the play, and the dirty game of the price war starts when there are a lot of competitors playing role in the entire segment. The other point is that when I started my EV journey, I was surprised to note that there is no IPR design or a patent or a registration which is required in order for me to enter as an OEM. So I can simply import a vehicle from outside the country and can get the necessary approval either from ICAT or ARAI, and then simply start my own OEM journey. As against to it, in the other side of the automobile industry, there is the first requirement of registration of the design, which is not there in the EV side of it. So then, if there is no design or the technology advantage which is available to any OEM, what kind of advantage ride the OEM is going to be ride on. And hence there is no differentiation, at least for the design and the technology perspective, which is there. So that again is an hindrance towards the EV manufacturing thing. Now, the last but not the least is that the competitor industry, that is the IC industry, is reaching its new height over decades. So if the competitor industry is already booming year on year, then why there is a scope left for a new industry to basically step down and grow within the larger industry segment. So those are few of the challenges I wanted to bring to the table. Now I see this industry exactly equivalent to the mobile handset industry. So about 25 years back, when the mobile handset industry came into the country, it started with 100% import. Slowly and steadily, we started doing the assembly, and today India is a manufacturing hub for the mobile industry. And in the similar fashion, I could see EV industry moving from 100% import to at least the assembling of those vehicles, because about 10 years back it was 100% import in the industry. Today at least we are doing the assembling, we are making certain components within India, we are doing our service support, all those things within India. There is no dependency for the service and the support on outside India. So in the similar fashion, EV industry I could see is growing. The volume is increasing day by day. There are people who are investing in the EV industry, although they are incurring losses. Ola is incurring huge losses. Ather is incurring huge losses. Despite they are very boosting about the industry, and they have no intention to go out of the industry. Rather, they are investing more and more in the industry, which shows that they have the confidence that the industry will pick up, and surely the industry will pick up.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta, for highlighting the challenges in EV manufacturing and sharing the solutions.